Hello everyone, welcome to the Video Game Choo-Choo Podcast. My name is Scott. John is, I don't know where John is, honestly. Where's John? Anyone know where John is? Maverick, do you know where John is?
I tried to find him, and it got really difficult to find him, because then I had to figure out another continent set up, and I had to answer questions about geography, and there was an a cappella group there.
Where in the world is John Machonsky? Christine, what, do you know where John is?
I don't know. I'm stuck out here on the West Coast where it's 108 degrees.
Oy.
Yeah, it's real fun.
God, I'm sorry. According to my computer, over here in the East, it's 69 degrees. I wish that I could... Nice. I wish I could offer that to you. I went out real quick to pick up some last-minute cleaning supplies at the store, and it was a very nice walk to just, clear my head out of all nice. Yeah, before I have to go back into the storm of getting everything ready so I can ensure that I get my safety deposit back.
It's been like a steady 95 here, but the nights go down to 80, which is just perfect, honestly. A little warm, but also I have central air, so it doesn't really this doesn't really matter. But it's
that math.
I'll go outside and just hang out for a bit, because it's just nice. It's just the perfect temperature for being outside,
Yeah, I mean, you can have central air, but when it's as hot as it is here, and it's just hey, it doesn't matter. It's still 82 degrees inside the house when you get ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to speak on that as someone who just always has his apartment set to 69 degrees.
I mean, that's the perfect temperature.
Yeah. And so it's just always there, and it's always nice, and that's what matters.
Yep.
But we're not here to talk about temperatures. We're not here to talk about the weather. This is not the video rain podcast. This is the Video Game Choo-Choo Podcast, and you know what we're going to talk about is video games. Christine, you've brought us a slew of video games. Which video game would you like to talk about first?
Well, I want to talk about the thing I'm most excited about, which is Samurai Warriors 5 fucking whips ass. It just came out. It might be the best game they've ever made. It's shockingly good for a Muso, and they added enough stuff that I actually couldn't just put it on hard right from the start and mash my way through things, because I know how to play those games, and actually put enough walls in my way that I'm actually having a challenge.
That's nice.
And I absolutely love that. And a lot of fans of the series were angry because the game has 20 characters now, instead of the usual 9,000 that these games usually have. But every character feels like they play completely differently. They all everything about the game just feels really good outside of it's weird. All these games have a secondary mode they do. And the secondary mode is kind of mediocre, where it's just defend a couple of bases with your two characters that you can swap between. Don't let any soldiers get through or you lose. It's stuff like that. It's a fun little diversion, and there's a 5-minute timer on it, but it's, not something I'm gonna grind at. Whereas the main campaign, they shrunk down its scope, so it's literally just Nobunaga and Mitsuhide instead of 20 different clans you play through, and just
sure.
Every decision they made it so much better of a game. Narratively, I'm finding it interesting. They added characters like Yasuke, who I've been dying to see in a Samurai Warriors game, and it baffles me that he hasn't been in one yet until now. And just, it's so good that it's so nice that they can handle this era so perfectly. I want them to keep doing these smaller scope things that they started doing with Samurai Warriors 4, Spirit of Sonata, where it's just like, we're just going to concentrate on one family because it allows them to do a narrative that is actually interesting. And combined with the new gameplay, where it's, oh my god, I've been having so much fun. Literally this last week, I've been like, oh, I'm so burned out. I came into last week like, I'm so burned out on games. I haven't had one that I love. And then in this last week, I've just played so much stuff that has me jacked, and that game is on the top of the list. It's so good.
I want to hear a little bit more about, like, what exactly did they do to change this up from the Muso formula? Like, not just, like, streamlining. Like, it sounds like they've streamlined it in terms of, like, characters and play styles to, like, really simplify it in a very smart way. But, like, I want to hear more about, like, what the like, point by point is with how this is different from other Muso games.
It's still a Muso.
Right.
That hasn't changed, but what they have changed is things like throwing just regular soldiers in your way that you can't just, hyper attack through. In Samurai Warriors, if you hit your triangle or Y button, it just gives you an attack that charges forward multiple times. Mm-hmm. So in 4, you could just mash that over and over and over and over and over and kill like 2,000 people, and the only things it wouldn't work on are enemy generals. Whereas now, it's like, you run into regular enemies that can just block it and knock you on your ass, so you can't just cheese your way through the entire game like you could before.
That sounds interesting. It kind of sounds like how the Persona 5 Muso kind of tried to handle it.
Yeah.
Like really putting in a lot of boss or like mini boss encounters to try and like make you mix up your gameplay way more.
Yeah, and that's the thing that feels so great, is I'm not just hitting the same button over and over again to watch the number go up. That's part of the thing I love about Muso games, is they're just a fucking clicker. You just hit the button and the number gets bigger. But, like, when they actually make me have to think, and most of them do when you put them on, like, the hardest difficulty, but, like, if you're playing on normal, you don't have to think at all in most of them. And in this one, I was having trouble on stages at normal until I would, on normal, which was like, this feels really good to be down to half my life bar on normal. And then in hard, I actually lost a couple of times. And that's never happened. Like, it was
that's exciting.
Yeah, it was like, holy hell, this is really good. And the setups for things, and one of the things I like about what they do with Samurai Warriors is it's built on, like, I mean, it's still the same Muso map, but there are quests you have to achieve through that, and there are hidden quests too. So you have to kind of explore the map a little if you want to actually, like, fully succeed, because there are little side quests that are off the beaten path that will actually make your overall push towards the final general or whatever a little easier. And, like, it's just really nice how they hide them in this game compared to previous ones, where it's not just, hey, I ran over to X corner, it's, hey, I just noticed a thing off to the side that said Spear Warrior over its head, but it's just a regular enemy, so I'm going to ignore it. It's like, no, I'm not going to ignore it, because I know something is going to happen when I go over there. And sometimes it's literally like, oh no, actually, you need to get this one, but then you have to get one over on the other side of the map, otherwise they're going to do a pincer attack and fuck your guys up.
Yeah, you don't want that happening.
And you also always are controlling 2 generals at once, which Warriors Orochi also has a tag system, but you just tag out in place in that one. But in this one, both of them are in different parts of the map. So you're swapping from side to side, trying to, make sure you're balancing each side of the map so things don't go. So there's a lot more thinking that goes into it, and it just, oh god, it feels so good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sick. Matt, what have you been playing?
What have I been playing? That is a really good question in terms of just Ooh, end of the month, it's definitely been a matter of just like, what can I play? What am I able to play? Because I don't know about you, but it's like whenever I have to do like important stuff, I can't like gaming is the first thing where it's like, okay, I gotta put that away if I don't have the time for it. And so
sure. Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Like I get in too many headspaces where I'm like, I shouldn't really be playing this right now. I'd rather be playing a thing I can listen to a podcast to when I should just like play something just to play it, to enjoy it, you know?
Exactly. That's what kept me so far from getting into like my big JRPG sinks. But at the very least, I was able to actually finish up with Tales of Berseria from the last time I was on the pod. I think last time I had mentioned that there was kind of like a levity of side quests. I didn't get to the end game yet, where just everything popped up on the map, and I kind of just like, oh shit, okay, let me go ahead and just go through everything real quick. And like I said before, it's fun side content and more understanding to like round out the characters, which I definitely will not pass up. Like, love this cast, love this crew, really solid. It is rare for me to go through like a JRPG cast and feel that every single member is a solid contender for my favorite character. There are definitely some standouts, like I'm a Velvet stan, and Laphicet is such a good version of just like the kid character of the group. But like every character is on that high pedestal. Like every one of them gets a chance to shine, and that's really, really nice to see. And the end fucking goes for it in terms of just really getting to the culmination of its themes, and also being like, it's very funny the way that a lot of this end stuff really just hammers in like, okay, this is the prequel to Tales of Zestiria, where even if I haven't seen everything about Zestiria, they're definitely just like, yep, here's a thread, the ending over here, oh yeah, there's a big thread, like just adamantly going, these two are connected. Don't worry about it. They're connected. But really, really fun way to just round stuff out there. And while I was waiting for a game that I'll talk about a little bit later, I came across Death's Door. Literally. And then I also found the game Death's Door.
And we're all glad you're okay.
Oh, yeah, you know. Yeah. But no, Death's Door has been a very fun diversion in terms of just something I really didn't expect. It was a part of the Devolver Showcase, if I remember correctly. And so not really on anyone's radar aside from just thinking like, oh, that's pretty cool.
I would say in terms of like, you know, people who want indie spaces, it was definitely one of the big ones that a lot of people were looking at. Like, like I saw like pretty much every major gaming site as soon as this game came out was like, y'all gotta check out Death's Door, even like the people who were not super hot on it. So it's like, you know, as far as indie games go, it definitely has its cachet to it. It looks cool. I genuinely want to play it.
It is.
I'm gonna get
cool.
to it as soon as I can.
Yeah, it's by the same people that
tell me about it.
It's by the same group that made Titan Souls, Acid Nerve. And from what I can tell about Titan Souls, it's one of those games that is just very focused in on boss fights, combat mechanics, just really...
Yeah, very like Shadow of the Colossus inspired.
Yeah, no, very much where like the boss is the set piece, and that's the main focus. Here in Death's Door, there is more of a... you can definitely see them wanting to flesh out the exterior of that, and wanting to create more immersive little landscapes. It's an isometric 3D adventure action game is what I would describe it as, in that you are a crow, and in this world that you inhabit, you are specifically a reaper. Crows are reapers, and basically like your whole, in a fun little scene, you are clocking in, getting ready to do your daily reaping, getting to go take a soul, and in the midst of all that, you go through that, and the game is very quick to just throw you in and just be like, okay, like figure out the buttons to attack, figure out the buttons to dodge, get your minimal bearings about what's going on. When you defeat this first boss equivalent, you are gonna get that soul, and then you get fucking sidetracked by someone stealing that, and when you have to go back and report that, the bureaucrats that are in like the little death's office You see it on the title screen too. It's just like this one big crow that's in the back with his typewriter, and then two other crows that are just typing things along. And it's a nice little equivalent of like a shitty rundown office in like the middle of the city. A very nice aesthetic. I will say that right off the bat. The game has a fantastic visual setup to it. And when you say like, hey, my soul got robbed, they're like, dude, that's bad. Like, when you're here in the plane and you're not on duty, you are immortal. You don't have to worry about that. But when you're on the clock and you're outside of like the realm, you age, you can die, you are bound to the wheel of fate or to the wheel of time. Go fix this. Go get your assignment back, whatever means necessary. And so that leads you through a whole setup where through having to help that crow that fucked you over, because he's like, yo, I gotta open up the titular death's door. You gotta help me out here. And you need the big souls to do it. And here are the 3 big souls that'll help you go through it. And so go ahead. You got 3 different locations to go through, and the bosses in this point of the game are the grandma, a very Yubaba from Spirited Away inspired domain. I just beat a second boss, which is like this frog king. Very fun, very interesting boss fight. Very fun goof with noble titles and the way that they appear. It is very easy to look at this game and like have the Dark Souls neuron fire off.
Right.
But there is a lot less that it takes from Dark Souls as it does just, I think the second equivalent is Zelda.
Yeah, for sure.
And that is a more apt descriptor.
Very
where
obvious
if Dark Souls
touchstone,
is if it's the 3D adaptation, if Dark Souls is a 3D adaptation of very classic Zelda motifs, then I would say that this is taking those motifs into a more like isolated, like 2.5D action aesthetic. And, for what it's worth, it's definitely a difficult game. Like, sometimes some boss rushes, some bosses will give you some like guff. There have been some points where it's like trying to get through enemies and it just gets like overwhelming at points. And it's a matter of just knowing your timing, knowing your windows for dodging, knowing how much time you have to do everything that you need to do. There's no stamina associated. It's just like, okay, like, if I roll once, then I gotta wait a little bit of time before I can roll again. And you have your health and you have your magic meter. And your magic meter is actually set up as like a few different components. And so in every dungeon thus far, you eventually have to free these souls that have been imprisoned by whoever the lord of that domain is, which in itself is also uncovering a bigger story about just like what exactly this world that you're a part of is. And for whatever reason, you as this guy that kind of just got fucked over and needs to like make sure he can get his job done is in the middle of something much bigger. But in those encounters, you eventually get to a chest that is a mimic. And not only that, when the chest eats you, it triggers a like 4-wave enemy rush. And after that, when you complete that, I think it's the avarice challenges is what they're called. And once you complete those, you get a new spell. And so you start off with like a bow and arrow. And thus far, I've been able to get a flame spell and a bomb spell. And so it's definitely been a fun way to just like figure stuff out and get a hang for just like, okay, once I get this new thing, there are a bunch of other opportunities I have with just backtracking and trying to go back to stuff. I think a big detractor for some people, and I've definitely had some difficulty with that at points, is the lack of a proper map.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And so,
especially in a game with, like in a game with like some light Metroidvania elements where it's like, you can like you unlock new abilities that allow you to go back to areas you've been before to get new like power ups and stuff, and it's like without the ability to like navigate, that sort of becomes very tedious.
Yeah, and it definitely becomes difficult at points. Like there are some stretches where it's kind of just like wandering around, and I don't mind it, but at points I have had to, or one point so far, I have had to look up a walkthrough just to make sure I didn't miss anything. And,
right.
You know, the big thing was just like, oh yeah, you got to like, go over to this one sign that you didn't read, and just like, oh, whoops, okay. And then go through the rest and like just continue with as far as I can go. And right now I'm at a point again where it's like, okay, I guess I found the way to the next immediate, boss location, but also I don't know if I have to check back in with some NPCs, if I have to like double check on who's around. Like I appreciate what it wants to do, and I feel that the landscape that it presents does it gives leverage to that, but at the same time it's definitely I don't fault it too much, but I can also see where it definitely becomes tedious at points. And you know, I think I'm about halfway through the game. I don't know what else specifically is left that's going to open up. I hear that there is a second half that gets a lot more stuff out of it and kind of shakes things up with a mechanic that I'm curious to see unveil itself to me. And so I'm just really excited to get another chance to play it. I don't know when that next chance will be because it's on my computer and this baby is going to be going away for a bit. But, you know, it was definitely something that I needed at the moment of just like, all right, what's quick, what's easy, 6 hours, it's like less than double-digit hour game that I can get through. All right, let me just try it out a little bit. Oh, this rules. Sure. And yeah, it very pleasant find when I really didn't I didn't know what to expect out of it. And it really is like a game that I have really come out with a lot of adoration for.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited to dig in more. I've only got about 10 minutes into it, so...
Yeah, the music is also fantastic. Just a really good soundtrack through and through.
I've also been playing something new, since y'all been playing new games out here. This one's similar to the last time I hosted, which I think was also the last podcast. Was it? Or was that a little bit ago? I don't remember. But I'm playing... I just started up the new Nier gacha, which was Nier Reincarnation, I think it is. Let me open up the game to make sure I got that right.
That is what it is.
It's weird because on my phone it just says Nier. But yeah, it's really weird. I don't necessarily find it super fun yet, but I definitely want to stick with it. There's elements about it that are really cool. Like I think the sort of overworld structure of this just being like a series of towers that you are just climbing is really interesting. I like the mama character who is just constantly monologuing at you and is saying really strange things. Who's also like the game's mascot. Like these Nier games, they sure love to have floating side characters behind the main character, you know? They love to do that. And that's the role Mama fills, but she's also sort of like the narrative crux, because your character has sort of just woken up full amnesia, doesn't know what's going on, and is like, and also cannot speak. But we're going around, we're collecting stories, and when you like collect a story, you get the weapon that story represents, and and like in some cases the character that weapon belongs to like gets added to your like pool of characters. And on top of that, there's of course it's a gacha game, so there's of course the gacha summoning. I did just one reroll. I didn't go too nuts, and I got the nice redesigned 2B. So that is a second gacha game in which I have 2B as a playable character. So that's something I'm living with. The thing I'm like sort of not super hot on is the combat. It is unlike the other Nier games, like it is more like a traditional RPG. Like you have a party and then you get into a battle and then you fight some monsters, and it's like, here are the skills that you have available and you gotta wait for them to come off cooldown. And the thing that I have like been trying to figure out is whether or not, if I tap the screen, will my character do basic attacks? Which turns out, yes, just not all the time. It's a very... I don't want to call it unresponsive, because it's definitely trying to do like an ebb and flow sort of thing, where it's like, you can start your combo string, do some basic attacks, and then like, once your character is finished, they like jump back into position, and then like the enemy gets to take their turn, and then it's like, you go back and forth with that, but it's all happening in real time, and there's usually multiple enemies out, and it's never really clear when I can attack again. So I'm just kind of just mashing on the screen like all the time, hopefully like maybe about to do an attack. It feels very unresponsive in a way that other gacha games have sort of solved. And that's what really bugs me about it. Like I haven't played Dragalia Lost in a long time, but that game sort of sets the benchmark of how good just action combat can feel on a mobile, like, just like on a mobile device, because it's like the inputs that you do are very simple, but like the strategies that you employ are very complicated, and you're like pulling them off in really interesting ways. Like you have a dodge roll, like you swipe and you do a dodge roll, and then like you just tap the screen to attack, and then you have like, here are your abilities at the bottom of the screen. And it's like, it's a game that would probably feel better on a controller, but the fact that it works so well on just like a screen is like remarkable. It's like, I don't expect every game to sort of be the same thing. Like, that would be very silly of me, I think. But the fact that this game, which is a straight up Nier game. Like it is in the Nier like lineage, and Nier is a series of action games, and it doesn't try to take the interesting elements of like similar games like on the market. Is very strange. Like when you're in combat, you can actually just like. You can do like full movement, like you can walk around, and it's really weird because it doesn't actually accomplish anything. There's no reason to be walking around, like you're not gonna dodge attacks. There is a dodge, I think, but it only happens sometimes, and it's part of a combo string. I don't understand, and like only some characters have it. I'm still trying to figure out the mechanics of it. I think like the more I play, maybe it'll open up. It'll open up more, and like it'll make a lot more sense. Which it bugs me, because if you're gonna put a game like this out and you have like good feeling gameplay, you should probably front load that so people don't drop off. But it's strange. I love the look of it. It's the music is great. It's more Nier music. There is something kind of sad about there being like a really amazing, like sad, somber score. And that's like the music that is set to the gacha summoning, you know? And it's like, this rocks, but also I'm like just trying to pull 2B, you know?
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm gonna spend more time with it. I'm mainly just been playing WOTV. The other game that I have 2B in, I have a bit of a small, War of the Visions update. I managed to rope a person into playing it with me.
Oh boy.
Which is huge. My guild finally has a second member in it.
Ooh.
That's big. I feel so bad because like when we did the War of the Visions video a while ago, someone actually commented on it being like, hey, you guys got a clan? And I'm like, I never responded to it, but now it's like months later. And I'm like, yes, in my head, I'm like, yes, I do. Please come join it. I need your help so badly. I keep posting messages in the recruiting chat being like, please come join Dilbert Club, and no one will. Maybe I need to change the name.
Please recruit with me. Please. Please.
Please.
I want recruiters and comments, okay?
I need people to come in here and give us guild coins.
Ooh.
Okay.
I need people to come in here and keep spending their gold on our Kieran statue so we can get more room in the barracks for farming shards. Please! Please!
Yeah, you might actually end up with another, because I did download that game the other day because I was looking for something on my phone, and I've been Final Fantasy Tactics pilled lately.
Hey, I will give you all of the advice you need on how to get started in that game, like what characters you should shoot for, like, you know. I'm a wellspring of information at this point.
Oh, you people! You know, I'm sitting here. I look through the Gacha channel every now and then, and I just think, what if I had a little phone game that I could tap on every now and then? And I don't want to get roped into something until it's like I'm choosing my calling. You know, I don't just want to get into any pseudo fantasy card pulling mechanic. I want to get into the pseudo fantasy card pulling mechanic for me.
Mm-hmm.
What's my gacha?
WWE Superstars or whatever that is.
Super card, yeah.
You want your JPEGs? That's the best JPEGs of Xavier Woods you can get.
I was gonna say, if you want the JPEGs, you need to get the New Japan game where it is just getting JPEGs.
There's not even like a fake.
No,
fight.
No,
it's
game,
not even the
just
game
the
war.
JPEGs.
Nope. You need to have the higher number on your card than the other person.
Nope, just you wanna spend some money on a JPEG of Tanahashi? There you go.
There you go. And here's the thing: who wouldn't want to do that? Have you seen that guy? Like, look at him.
I'm pretty sure I technically have at one point.
Is he that mysterious guy that showed up on AEW this week that I didn't know who was?
Yes,
and he's everybody's mom.
He's the ace of New Japan.
Tanahashi rules, but
Tanahashi's so good.
Yeah.
This is now the Tanahashi cast.
Yeah. Mav, I really do have to ask this question. How do you feel about Final Fantasy Tactics?
I have not played Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay, then maybe War of the Visions, unless you're like itching to play some kind of like tactics game, War of the Visions probably not for you, but if you started, I can get you in the right direction.
That's
I got a guild open.
When you say that, I feel like my immediate response is, oh, well, I just have to get into a few more tactics games.
Yeah. Hey, here's the thing. Final Fantasy Tactics, great game. There was a time, and I mentioned it on the podcast like a while ago, but it was like, I kind of got so fed up with War of the Visions that I just started playing Final Fantasy Tactics again, like within this past year. And it was a great time! That game still kicks ass!
Final Fantasy Tactics is one of the best tactics games there is that isn't Valkyria Chronicles.
I got that one loaded up on my PS4. The last one I did play was Three Houses. And that one was much more for the characters as it was the mechanics itself. Not that they were bad, but it's like, oh no, I just really dig the story here, and that's why I'm like pulling through.
So I take it you didn't do the red side first.
No, I meant I did do Black Eagles first.
Oh.
That's the only game. That's all the game that there is.
Well, there's also like 3 other paths, and you don't really get the whole story unless you play through all of them like I did. So, I'm just saying. I think,
but like it's the route that has my wife, my wife's girlfriend, my daughter, and everybody else. And the goth one.
I generally think like the tactic, the like Final Fantasy Tactics / like Tactics Ogre style of tactical RPG is like a little tighter than Fire Emblem, because I think Fire Emblem sort of like limits you in the stuff you can do, and you can really like open it up the more you learn, like you learn how to do stuff. But from the jump, like Final Fantasy Tactics encourages you to try a whole bunch of different things. Like, the first abilities that you get in that game are throw a rock at people or tackle them. And guess what? Those moves both have different properties that can both be very advantageous to you in combat.
Just get that chocobo in the corner and throw rocks at it.
Mm-hmm. Or get your own teammates in the corner and throw rocks at them and then have your teammate heal themselves. It is just infinite in JP, There's just so many like weird exploits in that game because it's the kind of game that really encourages like weird emergent gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, and then you don't get the same thing from Fire Emblem. And I say that as a person who played Fire Emblem Three Houses 4 times and really enjoyed it.
I watched you play through on murder difficulty. I watched you spend like 20 hours on one fight.
And that's the best way to play, honestly. We have so many more games. We should move on.
Let this be known. At some point, I will go through a tactics phase.
Hell yes.
I heartily encourage it. Christine, talk to me about Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart.
Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart whips ass. That game is
nice.
Really, really good. It is, like, I was playing through it over the last couple of weeks, just doing a planet a day. And then I got towards the end, and I stayed up till 3 a.m. doing like 4 planets in a row, because the story just ramps up in a really, really good way. Every weapon pretty much feels great, and is really fun to play with all the ridiculous bullshit you can do in those games. And just being able to teleport around most battlefields and a whole lot of different movement and traversal systems through it, it's a great Saturday morning cartoon that would have been entertaining as hell just watching the cutscenes, but the fact that the gameplay rules is a super bonus.
Nice.
Yeah. That was a well worth the 15 hours, 100%ing the first playthrough, and then it's like, oh, I could go get more weapons and play through the second time with all the extra stuff that you can unlock, and I was like, no, I think I got what I need out of it, and I am really happy with that.
How do you feel about the ending where Ratchet dies and then the rest of the series is now Rivet and Clank?
That would have been the best ending possible, because Rivet and Kit fucking rule.
That's right. It's not just a new Lomax. It's did I say that right? I don't know the Ratchet. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a new Clank too, which is just like and from a different world, so everything has a different perspective. Whereas like Clank was never really a killbot, but Kit was, no, I was a killbot, and I feel terrible about it. And it's all really, really good. There's a lot of really good storytelling and great characters, and like some of the extra stuff you find, it's just really fun to do the puzzles to get through them, even though they aren't hard per se. It's just, God, that game was fun.
Now, I'm going to say something here that I feel like might be a little controversial, but we know for a fact that the Ratchet and Clank titles have been very like ass-focused in previous iterations. Do you think that a Rift Apart is a Goatsy reference?
Jesus fucking Christ, now I'm not going to be able to get that out of my head, you asshole monster.
I'm just saying, like, they have a history of this.
You're a monster, Scott. You're a monster.
We're here to, like, do real hard-hitting reporting and, like, really get down to the nitty-gritty, and we're gonna ask the tough questions.
I guess I should have said that game.
Check out my new Rift.
Yeah.
And then he just...
Yeah.
Because he's like a Time Lord or whatever now, right? Hey, I really had a jonesing to go through the Ratchet series once I found out about Rift Apart, and I did talk about 2016 and the pitfalls there, but no, the real big window is just the Future series, because I never I never clicked like, oh, they got like serious about the plot, not like fully serious, but like definitely ramped up the stake on the narrative as opposed to like the original trilogy.
Yeah. Like they definitely did, but as I said, it's very like Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, it's never like I'm super serious.
Yeah, like a 12-year-old would fucking eat it up, and like, yeah, I wouldn't feel bad playing it in front of like my 14-year-old niece.
Sure.
Like, I'd be like excited to, because I know she'd be watching the screen going, "Oh my God, that's so cool."
Yeah.
But just that game is great, and you should totally play it.
I would love to play it.
You have a PS5 and can afford the $7 price tag for individual games. But hey, sorry, did you have more to say?
I was going to say, no, I hope that if Rift Apart does well, I hope that somebody at Naughty Dog goes, hey, can we try Jack 4? Or somebody at Sucker Punch goes, can we try Sly 4?
Sure. Yeah.
It would be nice. Those, like, I'm going to be real, like, those are never my PlayStation touchstones, but I recognize, like, how good a lot of those games were and how many people just, like, they were really formative for a lot of people, and then for some reason they just didn't carry forward in a way that doesn't make a lot of sense considering how popular they were.
Sly 3 is one of my, like, pivotal... That is a cornerstone game for me, and also the first level is just making fun of Italians, and that was very formative. There's a bit where there's this guy, he's just like, oh, my nonna spaghetti, it's gonna be so good. I thank you so much for taking up my shift as a bodyguard. And literally, like, in the next scene, Sly's just like, that dude's mom's pasta sounds really good. Like, what do you think is in the sauce? And then Bentley's like, well, you gotta stop thinking about that, Sly. We're gonna get fucked.
Yeah, hopefully Sly 4 tackles the Irish.
Sly, you gotta get ready for that. I can't make that joke.
Oh, Sly, you gotta get the potatoes.
Speaking...
Here's this new technique from your ancient ancestor, Sly.
God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We're not here to apologize. Speaking of Mamma Mia Bellissima Italiano, tell me about Neo Twiwi.
Neo Twiwi. God, no. Neo the World Ends With You, or Neo Twiwi as it's better known. Got that full release this week, and your boy got a copy of it, and love to transfer save files, love to just continue where you picked off from the demo, and just get right into it. The more games that do that, the better, IMO. And, I just recently did Days 3 and 4, and I am assuming it is still in the manner of the first game, where you have multiple weeks composing this story. And this is definitely the week where it's just getting you through more tutorial stuff, getting you acclimated to, if you're new, just everything about the world in general. But if you're also just if you're a returning fan, updating stuff and letting you just get some, like, quick little hits in terms of what's different, what's still the same. You get some character interactions that definitely shake things up, and as I had mentioned before, the characters of Rindo and Fret definitely stand out in terms of just being very connected with one another. And I from what I've been getting about the story so far, I think this one is less about just, like, opening up entirely. And the way that Neku was just that very, like, somber, nobody understands me, I gotta wall myself off to get away from all the noise. From what I'm getting so far of the story, there's a hesitation from Rindo to immediately trust new people and open up in terms of just, like, it's a bit more specific in, like, the way where it's kind of just like, oh, how can I trust this person that I have no prior history with? How can I just focus it? Like, I think, as I'd mentioned before, about the way that it might be talking a bit more about just camaraderie and community, I think this is starting to build up that bridge where, from this point of, from where I've played, we got a new character, Nagi, who is a very, very fun, straight up otaku. She's got an Ida bag and everything, like, when they meet her. Because everyone's like, oh, she's got these powerful pins. She's got so many pins on her. And it's like, oh, these are all pins that, one, she either got, or two, she made herself, of, like, this one character from an Otome game that she really likes. And the way that you meet her is that, like, literally through the background, there is just, like, that Otome game just getting some new promotions and shit. And you're kind of just like, well, what kind of dumbass doesn't want to, like, get on the jump of this? And then she overhears you and she's like, I'm that dumbass who didn't get the new pin, die. And then you find out that, Rindo, the main character, has time travel powers. And so through that, you get to go, okay, let me circle back through the events of the day so that I can actually make sure that 1, we can get this pin, and 2, we give it to you so you can join up with us. And she also unlocks a new part of the game with her like canon psychic ability where she's able to read the minds of, well, everyone's able to read the minds of others, but she's able to do it in a way that you basically unlock like boss rushes or just like very like specific gauntlets, and they have noise that can do a bunch of different effects. Like in each, it's like 3 to 4 different rounds, and the ones that I've encountered so far have done things like you'll have an enemy that has like boosted attack or defense. You'll have one enemy that, when marked, does like HP drainage, and so it adds a bit more strategy to the way that you want to just maneuver around your enemies. And so like, okay, if this is a drainer, I gotta take care of them quick so I can then just go and wipe out the rest of the team. I've been going through a lot more of the pins as well, and it's really interesting to see them update from the way that the pins worked originally in terms of just like, what can we do with everything that the Nintendo DS has to offer, and just like, what can we tap? What can we yell into the mic for? What can we draw circles with? Like, just really honing in on different ways to present those. Here, they kind of condense it, but in a way that makes more sense. And each character kind of has their specific, like, ideal, is what I would say. Like, Rindo and Fret are definitely your tappers. Like, the pins I have on them right now are just like, mash this button, get your combo going, and like, just rack up the combo meter. And with Nagi and Minamimoto, they are definitely the ones that I've been trying out more of the L1 and R1 pins, which are more charged, and those are your psychokinesis. Those are like ice spikes, or your now earth spikes, or like your multi-hit drop kicks, or like just a lot of different things where I'm seeing some of the threads coming in where, okay, yeah, like I want Fred as someone that can beam spam. I want Rindo on something that can just give me hard tactile combos. With the other two, it can shake it up a little bit. What kind of charge can I have on you so that once it's ready to go, I can just get that quick combo going? And if I want to do a support pin, I guess I can do a support pin. It's definitely now that I have all 4 characters, it's very open in terms of how I want to go about things. And I'm really excited to get further into that combat system as I'm evolving more pins, as I'm actually getting to like fight other members of the Reapers game, which is a new revelation in terms of just like in the middle of the story, suddenly someone's like, oh, you want to step to us? And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know that this was part of the game. And yeah, I'm really jazzed that I've just had a much more time to get into it. The one thing I will say so far is that, it's another issue I had similar to Death's Door in terms of just map navigation. It's different getting through Shibuya in a 3D space as it is that original 2D space, and I think it does a good job of wanting to translate that, also trying to add in more specific areas and just highlighting more of the map that you couldn't in the original game. It's definitely a thing where it's kind of just like, all right, I know where I'm supposed to go. There's one quest that I was going through where you kind of just had to like figure out clues around the city, and what became difficult was kind of just like, all right, I know where I'm supposed to be, but it's a matter of just proccing the prompt, and that's kind of just like wandering around for a little bit until I like end up upon it. And I'm hoping that there aren't as many quests that revolve around that. And then also, load times have been a thing that a lot of people have like mentioned. By the time that I got the game, there was a day 1 update, and I still see some load time on the PS4. And I'm not someone that is like very. I don't focus too much on that. That doesn't take away from my experience too much, but I can also see where it comes up and when it shows up. I can notice it enough to go, okay, yeah, this could definitely deter someone in terms of just wanting to continue the flow of what's going on. And that being said, though, I've really been enjoying it, and I can't wait to have more time to actually really get into the thick of it and then be able to write about it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Christine, tell me about Chris Tales.
Chris Tales is freaking gorgeous. I wasn't intending on buying it until I was just skimming the PlayStation store. And Andrea was just like, what is that? My partner that is beautiful. And then I started looking at the screenshots and I'm like, this can't be gameplay. This has to be cutscenes, right? But then I was like, okay, I'm going to download this. I'm going to buy it. It's just too pretty to look at. And yeah, the game looks like that all the time. And it has such a unique gimmick in that you are a time mage and you can look forward in time and back in time on each side of the screen. So you can do things like look back in time, cast poison on an enemy that's over on that side of the screen, and then move forward in time, and then it's just dead because it took all that poison damage. And stuff like that. And it's just like, oh, the first boss teaches you to think strategically with things where it's like, oh, go back in time, stay in the normal time, you cast water on them, and then you push them to the future, which, because they are all wet, their shield is now rusted so you can damage them. Just really, really cool gimmick with all of that, like trying to figure out, okay, what abilities are going to do what as they shift through time, and manipulating that to see how it works. I've had some really challenging fights in there against just normal enemies, trying to figure my way through the combat system and whatnot. And just the fact that it's so pretty, and the voice acting is also, like, everything seems to be voice acted, and it's all really well done. Just the look, the combination of everything is made me really excited. I put 10 hours in over 3 days, and I don't play a lot of games like that. And it's like, I'm really happy I did too. So you should check that out if you like JRPGs and utterly the most stunningly beautiful, like, art design that I've seen in a long time. It's so good.
Awesome. This is going to be a weird one, but I played a little Half-Life 2. You've heard of you've heard of this game, right? It's like the sequel to Half-Life.
Oh, that's the prequel to Half-Life 2 Alex.
No, that's actually the sequel to Half-Life 2 Alex.
Oh, you're right. Oh.
Alex comes before that. It's sort of, but also it's after Half-Life 1. Okay, so Half-Life 2.
When's Half-Life 3?
That's a great question. But yeah, so I saw some discourse online about Half-Life 2 recently, because it's that time of year where people have to critically reevaluate old games and then talk about how good they weren't. And I just had the itch, and I was like trying to figure out how exactly do I boot up Half-Life 2 in this day and age. And you'd think it'd be as easy as you open it up on Steam and play it, and you can do that. But there was recently a fan-made community update to the game that adds like a whole bunch of quality of life features and stuff, and like streamlines and stuff. It's a whole thing. It makes it nicer. It's better optimized. It works pretty well. On top of that, I had booted up the game and I had gotten the first pistol, and I walked around the corner and I shot a combine, and I was like, you know what? I would really like some iron sights. So I just immediately started looking for mods that had iron sights, and the ones that I found only worked with another mod that adds like super HD stuff to it. Like there's like this filter. There's like a dirty lens filter they put over the screen to simulate Gordon just having really dirty glasses. It's that kind of thing. Like you look at the lighting the right way, and you can see Gordon's fingerprint on his glasses. It's very
Valve
silly.
Hire this man.
That's kind of rad.
That is 100% the vibe I've got from this, because it just looks like Half-Life 2, but like with some Unreal Engine lighting, you know?
Half-Life 2, but then you just like look to the side of the field and Mario's running around.
But on top of that, like I've been like just messing around trying to dig into like what makes this game work, and one of the problems I'm having as someone who plays this game on a gamepad, because my wrists are not good. I don't like to play games on, if I can avoid playing a game on keyboard and mouse, I'm going to do that. My hands are not built for that anymore. But in the process of like of messing around with that stuff and getting it working on gamepad, because it did. Okay, so when you boot the game up initially, it does, and you have like a gamepad plugin, it does have a controller profile for gamepad. If you reset it to defaults, it just resets it for keyboard and mouse. So all of the gamepad inputs disappear. So you have to re-input all of them manually. Oof. Which was fine, because I had installed that Iron Sights mod, and I needed to map that button. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to put this on left trigger because, you know, it's aiming. And, you know, Half-Life is not a game that necessarily needs Iron Sights. It's way more of like a high speed, like you're not going behind cover, and you're not like shooting things from behind cover. You're going like full speed running around, like it's a constant movement game. And the Iron Sights kind of get in the way of that a bit, but also I feel like that I am a dude who knows what I want out of first-person shooters at this point, and what I want is some Iron Sights. And two, I feel like this game that I've played 1,000,000 times in the past, like, I would love to try some new stuff with it. So it's been interesting trying to get that to work. The big reason why I was interested in replaying this game was I had played Black Mesa last year, and one of the things that really stuck out to me about Black Mesa, which I wrote about in my end of the year list, was there is a level design to that game that feels so player agnostic in a way that is really cool. Like, you feel like you don't feel like you're going through a level that's tailored for you. You feel like you are crawling around these infinitely huge man-made structures that just don't exist for anyone to live in. And that kind of traversal was really cool. And I remember Half-Life 2 not necessarily having the same thing, but it does have its own kind of interesting horizontal movement through a whole bunch of different spaces, where Black Mesa or Half-Life 1 is way more vertical. So I wanted to try and see if Half-Life 2 still managed to capture that feeling. And I don't think it does nearly as well as Black Mesa, because Black Mesa is about exploring an industrial complex, while Half-Life 2 is about you're getting chased by the police and you're on the lam, you know? Completely different themes, completely different types of play. Mm-hmm. But it's been interesting getting that thing going. The big problem I'm having now is there's a part of my crosshair where there's just like brackets around it, and the brackets are not like, so there are two types of brackets. One, there are these just line-based brackets, and two, there are these like quick info ones that include like, here is just like in the middle of your screen how much health you have, how much ammo you have in the gun, which is like fairly useful information. And then there's a crosshair in the middle of it. So you have a pretty busy like center of the screen. And I've been trying to figure out how to remove the line-based brackets, because anytime I aim down Iron Sights, those brackets don't disappear. Oof. And it's so fucking distracting. And I just want to remove them entirely because they do nothing for me. Like, this mod that I have has a really nice crosshair, and like the quick info things like are really useful. And those are the only two parts of this crosshair I want. And I have looked up ways to try and remove just the brackets, but they do not work because I'm trying to remove the brackets not just from not just from like Half-Life 2, but from an updated version of Half-Life 2 that is also in its own unique mod launcher. So I'm under like 3 different layers of Half-Life 2 trying to figure out which one removes the goddamn brackets. And I'm struggling. I feel like this should be a really relatively simple thing to fix, and it's just not working. I don't know what to do. So if you're out there and you know anything about Half-Life or source modding, please reach out to me. I need you. I need this right now.
Please, Scott.
The last thing I want to say about Half-Life 2 is everyone is correct. That boat sequence sucks so much ass now. Okay, so I think like just hauling ass in the boat is fun. Like the first part of the boat sequence is good, and it definitely runs a little long, but also it's a whole level. Like it's a boat level. Like it should be it probably should be shorter, but I think the things they do with the boat are really interesting, and they make you like figure out how to get it through this space in ways that are really cool. Where it falls apart is when they give you a gun. Like they finally give you a way to fight back, and this gun is just so fucking unruly, and it doesn't work, and now you're expected to fight enemies while also hauling ass at high speed. When you turn your camera to aim at enemies with the gun, the camera just shoots back into the normal position, like front-facing position after a few seconds. It is so annoying, and maybe that's just a controller problem. Maybe that's just a me problem. Maybe I should have tried and played that sequence with a mouse. But I remember when I was younger, and I played that sequence so many times that I had kind of gotten a feel for how the turret works and how to utilize it really well. It has a bit of an auto aim to it, but it's very janky, and it doesn't quite line up the way it's supposed to. But you can make it work by just remembering that the way it's pointing is not the center of your screen. It is wherever the diamond reticle is on your screen. So you just gotta make sure you're getting that in a position to actually hit people, because the reason it moves around so much is because it's a stationary turret, and it reacts the way a real stationary turret would. It's not gonna just automatically adjust up and down over and over again. It's gonna keep bobbing up and down because it's set on a fucking boat that is moving at high speeds.
Ridiculous speeds.
You go so fucking fast, and also it's not fast enough.
It's the kind of thing that you I think you said it perfectly. You called it the boat sequence, but then you called it the boat level. It needed to be a boat sequence, not a level.
Yeah.
I remember that too. It was...
I think
I turned on God mode.
Sure. I actually turned my difficulty down. I was playing the game on hard mode, because that's just the way I default to games. And at that point, I was just okay, I'm just going to bump this down to normal because I'm just taking so much damage and I don't really have ways around this. And I eventually bumped it back up to hard once I got to Ravenholm, because Ravenholm is actually comparatively way easier because all the enemies are zombies. But it's such a strange thing because I feel in this overhaul mod that fixes a whole bunch of things, makes the enemy AI way more brutal. It adds a whole bunch of really nice quality of life features to just getting in there and killing people. It also adds it removes hit scan and replaces the bullets with like physical projectiles, so you can see them coming and dodge them if you're fast enough, which is really neat. It's sort of not the same type of game, but also it changes, it adds a whole bunch of a whole bunch of optional changes that you can toggle to how you want to play the game, but it makes it a way more enjoyable experience when it feels like you're not just constantly getting shot a million times over and over again, when you actually have the skill to dodge around and be a cool murder man. It also adds a feature you can turn on that this game desperately needs, which is periodic health regen. It sections your health off by 20% 20% like little bars, and then like when you're out of combat, it refills to the like the next 20th percentile. Like, you know, if you're at like 35 health, it'll go up to 40, you know, stuff like that, which is really useful because you lose health so quickly in that game, and the only way to get it back is to hopefully find some health. And like, I was just thinking, this game needs some kind of like healing mechanic. Like Half-Life Alyx adds syringes that you hang on to, that you heal when you need it. And it's like, they just didn't have that in mind for Half-Life 2 specifically. And it's real nice to see that the creators of MMod were like, you know what, this probably needs something like that.
Yeah. So
it's cool. I try out MMod, put some iron sights in your Half-Life 2. It's out there. It's a game that exists. Fuck that boat. Hey, MMod creators, make it so that turret just automatically locks onto whatever. Like, just fucking fix it. Just do it. You will improve the game so much. Just break it. Break it so it's more fun. I promise you. It will be good. Okay. That's about all No, please.
Is there a mod that adds in that Breaking Benjamin song?
Probably. There's a mod that replaces the rocket launcher with a PSP UMD launcher, I think it is.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So,
do they have a texture on the UMDs?
I would have to look it up, but yeah, I believe so. I believe they are UMDs. I don't know if they're UMDs of specific movies.
Just gonna blast you with Tokyo Drift.
I hope they have Lords of Dogtown.
It'll be pretty good. We're gonna move on to news in a second, but before we do, Christine, what is LunarCon?
So this weekend, a bunch of Final Fantasy creators all put together a in-game convention because, you know, the big convention couldn't happen with people. They've done a history of things like putting together an artist alley, or some of these people actually regularly do like events at their house, which are like plays and whatnot. But they combined it all into one, with, you know, cosplay contests. This morning I watched, a dance routine set to the in-game music that people had perfected, like entire dance routines using abilities that they just had this beautifully choreographed story for an hour.
I've heard about that. My friend Jocelyn Moynihan does those.
Yeah, like it was really cool. And like earlier today, there's like another group, the Stelazio Theater Company, that they put on entire plays, and they're doing nice. Phantom of the Opera and another one. And it's like the coolest thing because they're so good at every element of the game, from like housing and whatnot, that they can literally do set changes in like minutes.
Yeah, I've heard about this. It's really neat.
It's so cool. And like the coolest thing was like logging on earlier today to go wait in line to try to see one of the things. And people are not just waiting in line in the town areas. They're like making breaks in the line for where housing entrances are and like side streets are. So it's like a real convention with the broken lines and whatnot. It's like, oh, line ends here and starts back up over there, capped at this amount of people. So you've got people acting as, it's like the coolest thing that these people just, you know, they set it up as like a way for us all to have our own convention, and like artist alley panels, like tons of different panel rooms that have really interesting stuff happening in them with talks and whatnot on people's Twitches. It's just such a unique idea that I kind of love it. And I wanted to give it a shout out on the podcast because it's like the coolest thing I've seen this week, just to see people leaving line breaks for fucking doorways. Such good etiquette.
Nice.
We can go on to news now, but also those Final Fantasy remasters rule. I've
heard they're like weirdly good.
You have to like change files around to make the font good. But other than that, like, the music's amazing and the game's play great, so...
Nice. All right, let's move on over to the news. This is gonna be a pretty somber news section, because the real big story that we're gonna be talking about is, of course, the ongoing Activision Blizzard walkout and lawsuit, which is a huge situation with a whole bunch of like different things that have happened. So many different reports have come out just within these past few weeks. I don't know if we're going to be able to cover everything in this, simply because it is just a gargantuan task. But we're going to try and cover this as succinctly and as eloquently as possible. Obviously, we are a site that has we do not have like an editorial board, nor do we have like any kind of like paid interests. There's a word I'm thinking of, but I can't pull it out of my head right now. But we're not beholden to anyone. We try to speak our minds on any kind of political subject as honestly and open as possible, and I think it's pretty safe to assume that everyone here on the Video Game Shoot You staff is in support of the workers and their ongoing attempts to make Blizzard a better, more welcoming place, because what we've heard coming out of this is an extremely dire situation.
Yeah.
So essentially what's been happening is an ongoing slew of gender discrimination against women who have worked in pretty much all over Activision Blizzard. Like, not like it's mainly prevalent in the WoW team, but it is entirely a company culture, a company like frat boy culture, which has just enabled a ton of really horrible behavior towards women. A lot of the stories that have been coming out have been, let me go ahead and pull some of these up, because I'm just looking at the news section on our doc, and there's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 links, and I have like 3 more links in my browser right now that I haven't even put here.
I mean, that's not even most of it. It's the amount of stuff that keeps coming out is just disgusting, and it boggles the mind that anyone can think any of this is okay.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how anyone can be like any of these people. Even the minor stuff that's part of this thing, like, haha, we're drinking around the office and making the women do all the work. That's still fucked up beyond belief. So
one of the big things was, of course, something that was called cube crawls, where male employees would drink tons of alcohol and crawl their way through various cubicles in the office and engage, in quotes here, often engage in inappropriate behavior towards employees. But just like, just really stupid, juvenile, infantile stuff. But on top of that, like, just constant sexual banter, just constant like sexual harassment of women, like in every facet of the company. Like women who were pregnant were alleged to have been held back from promotions, or just the possibility that they might become pregnant, which again, just absolutely ridiculous. There were some women who were straight up, they had daycare centers like on site, and women were like kicked out of lactation rooms so male colleagues could use those rooms for meetings. Like, it is like utterly baffling the levels of misogyny that are happening here. There's one story in particular that's incredibly heartbreaking, and I just want to say up top that, like for a quick content warning, this deals with suicide. Like, if you don't want to hear about that at all, I recommend just like skipping past like the next few seconds or something. But there was a story of one woman who, man, the reports on this are just like all over the place. But what I've seen is the big things that occurred were that one woman committed suicide on a trip with a male supervisor
at a holiday trip. It was a holiday party,
yeah,
like thing.
That there was also like a police also reported to have like found like sex toys like in the luggage of the male supervisor. So clearly, I don't want to get too much into it. I just want to say the facts on this. But the suicide occurred after coworkers passed around nude photos of her at that holiday party that you were talking about. And it's just like real dark stuff happening. And this happened like years ago, and it's only just coming out now. Just like unbelievable horrid shit that is happening.
I just, the official response that Blizzard first released, which was just like, that had nothing to do with her suicide. Yeah. It's like, of course it probably had something to fucking do with it. You were passing around nudes of her right before she did it. How? Just not. Fuck. That statement was.
And then, like to the benefit of, like, to the employees, like, they pretty quickly, like, said this statement is bullshit. They refuted the statement, then staged a total walkout. World of Warcraft developers stopped working on WoW. Like, they just stopped working completely once the lawsuit was filed. There have been multiple meetings, multiple statements put out. Bobby Kotick has tried to walk back some of the stuff he put out in his initial statement. And still people are holding their feet to the fire and being like, yeah, no, this is still bullshit. We need serious, actual change here.
Important to highlight that this is the initial lawsuit is being held by the Los Angeles Superior Court. This is a case of the state recognizing the actions that are happening, and rather than this just being a press release, is just a full-on action that's being taken. And,
right.
If this is one of the things that can lead to better representation and representation, when I say that word, it is something I need to be very mindful when I say, because I think what the Activision Blizzard harassment lawsuit is also recognizing is the way that there's a disconnect between the way that we understand representation and equity from the presenting standpoint of video games and the way that the games industry also provides representation and equity. And there's a vast disparity that these misogynistic figures have been able to take advantage of, in that it is easy to create. Well, I say it's easy, but then you look at Overwatch and there's still no black women in the game. But you make a character that is representative of a marginalized identity, that is representative of the queer community. You put rainbow flags where you can. You make sure that you have voice clips that also use Spanish instead of just regular English. It is the insipid ways that, for a lack of a better term, are the very neoliberal ideas associated with equality, representation, equity, rather than actually being able to look at the staff that are associated and recognize, hey, what do the pays, what do the pay ranges look like? Why is a woman getting paid less than her boyfriend at the time for doing the same job? Why are these disparities going on? And some of these things get really vile, and it is frustrating to see that, one, these are all things that have already happened. The people that are a part of these stories may still be there, or for most of these cases might have moved on to something else. And it is frustrating to see that while at one point this could lead to something better for the current employees, it is again one of those things where justice can only be represented in a way that can lead to progress, but ultimately is still requiring to be built upon people that have already suffered enough. And
right.
Yeah.
The thing I'm seeing is like this suit is probably not going to go to court. Like it's probably going to be settled out of court, which that's usually how most lawsuits are nowadays. But I do think that this is going to be a very major sea change for a lot of workplace abuse. Like this comes, I want to say off the heels of, but also the still ongoing Ubisoft abuse allegations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this is a pervasive, like these are pervasive problems in industry wide in a lot of these major companies. And while Activision Blizzard is certainly unique in like the extreme degree of misogyny that a lot of these people, a lot of these like men in these positions of power have been perpetuating. It like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to hear if like, you know, something like this came out of like another major company, you know?
Mm-hmm.
No, I wouldn't be shocked either. Like the way they've started coming out, I don't think it's the end of it, because it's just, I mean, there's a pattern, and when there's smoke, there's fire, and there's a whole lot of it around this industry, and people aren't doing anything about it. I mean, the Ubisoft
we are actively like people are doing things about it. Like Ubisoft is being taken to court. Like everyone is like all the employees have walked out of Activision Blizzard. Like this is the time that people are taking a stand and people are listening.
The Ubisoft thing is an example of it, where you have the open letter from like 600 some odd Ubisoft employees signed it, that went out, that was like, hey, we absolutely support the people at Blizzard cleaning their house. Also, here, they still haven't done shit to change anything. And it's very much like...
but that's also still an ongoing situation. Like new Ubisoft stuff with the EVS Guillermo came out like within the past few days. I don't have the news directly in front of me, but I saw that was happening as well. I should probably look it up for the sake of actual reporting.
I think it is also important to recognize that more often than not, these companies will also want to do less, that they will choose to not act. Full disclosure, I have listened to some material based on it, and just hearing some of Austin Walker's reporting on it already, or discussion of it. This is a case where rather than try to change the status quo, they will implement things in order to make sure nothing changes. Like right now, Bobby Kotick has gone on record saying, yeah, we have a third party investigating and trying to do listening and wanting to, we hear you, we listen to you, we want you to feel heard. Here's a number to respond to so that you can just put out your grievances. And that is not the way to get to a proper collective decision. Right. Because of the fact that these are olive branches, but these look like olive branches, but these are things to keep complacency. And it's also important to note that the firm that they have partnered with is also the same firm that Amazon is using in order to bust unions. And so any whiff of a union that's currently coming up, Activision Blizzard will pick up on that, and they will figure out how to tear that apart in an instant.
That's what they're trying to do, but people have already walked out. There's the thing that a union would be need. I mean, unions can obviously accomplish a lot more and can bring a lot more leverage and negotiating power to the table, but people are already essentially unionized, and they're speaking up about it, and they're not going back to work until this is fixed, which is heartening to me. I agree that a lot of what Bobby Kotick and people in power are going to do is try and do the bare minimum and not actually fix anything. But I think just even addressing that there is a company culture of misogyny is enough to actually make a substantial change, because then as soon as someone tries to pull shit like this in the future, it's they're immediately they're immediately like put on the sideline, you know? Like it's really easy to point that person out and be like, yo, you are not fucking welcome here. Like with what you're doing.
But I feel like I hope for that. I earnestly do.
Me too.
I feel like
Me too. Like these companies constantly like take known like toxic and abusive people and like shuffle them around into like different positions. Like,
or they just allow them to quietly leave instead of making a deal out of like Alex Afrasiabi with the Cosby Suite stuff and everything he has a history of doing. They just allowed him to quietly leave instead of like firing him. It's
God. You like Maverick. You mentioned before that like Overwatch like hasn't had a black woman yet, but one of the characters it does have is named after Jesse McCree, who's a lead game designer at Blizzard, who also has done who's also like, you know, like pulled some shit, like sent some really disgusting things in internal emails. Like it's fucking disgusting.
It boggles my mind. I think about the person who I was in middle school. Not to say that was much of a person, but that is the equivalency that I have to get to in order to try and understand that. And even then, at my most ignorant, was there still a point where I kind of just like, I don't know if I feel okay about, like, it is foreign to me. It is outright foreign to me to be this level of irreprehensible and vile. Not to speak highly of myself, but rather to just think like I cannot understand the thought processes that lead to you being in this kind of an environment, and more so recognizing that this isn't just Activision Blizzard, like we keep saying. It is multiple parts of the game is industry, and I just really am hoping that I am hoping that this leads to more change and more focus on things, because it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just want to rewind a bit and touch back on what's been happening with Ubisoft. Ubisoft just yesterday, Ubisoft it's Friday night. We're recording on the 30th. Just yesterday on the 29th, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, I'm sorry. He responded to the open letter from Ubisoft staff, he responded to the open letter from Ubisoft staff, which has been signed by over 1,000 current and former employees, stating, "We have heard clearly from this letter, and not everyone is confident in the processes that we have put in place to manage misconduct reports." Essentially, just like not really listing any specific terms and new actions. But just today, the Ubisoft Open Letter Group issued a final response to Yves and to GamesIndustry.biz, saying that the majority of their demands are sidelined and few of their points seem to have been addressed. So, you know, if this seems to be a real breaking point, if things are not going to improve, then there's probably going to be a massive, there's probably going to be an extremely massive leave of employees from that company, which would really drastically hurt Ubisoft's bottom line. Even if Ubisoft tried to staff up and try and get people, that's still a whole bunch of new people dealing with projects that they haven't dealt with before, probably working on a new engine they haven't worked with. It's it would drastically ruin their bottom line if they had such a if such a massive not just walkout but just leave of the company did happen.
Yeah.
So they are essentially putting them on final notice, things need to change. So hopefully things do drastically change for the better. We not just in support of the workers at Blizzard Activision, but also, obviously the workers who are currently on strike at Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Any more final words on this subject? I know we've gone pretty extensively on it, and I then tried to touch on it with the care. But if any, I want to have the floor open if either of you have any other statements that you want to add.
I mean, much like everything else within the last year that we've just had to bear witness to and ruminate on, because that's sort of all you could do when you're confined to your screens and the sanctity of your home, unless you are an essential worker, of course. That's its own can of worms. But I hope that this does not just become a news point. It becomes a movement and becomes something that is also focused on.
100% agree.
Like, I hope it's finally the thing that allows us to build to actual, like, some kind of game developers union thing like that that fully works. That, because at this point, I don't trust the corporate people to actually handle things properly. And these companies are too big where you can't have a future club situation where they just all leave, start their own thing, and get all the stuff they worked on back because their original company didn't own the publishing rights, so the publisher can just go back to them. I want there to be a happy ending for this, but for the people involved, there can't be. It's, it's something that scars people their whole lives.
Yeah.
And
a lot of this behavior, I think, resulted from the fact that in the inception of, like, a lot of that early 2000s, mid 10s, work culture did focus on, we're a family here, we're united here. I think that you're seeing something similar now as the language shifts to focus on diversity, inclusion, and equity. Work that should be done, work that should be required, and work that should lead to a actual sense of understanding your coworkers in a communal space. But the missing part of that, I think, is also a sense of belonging. But that specific kind of belonging does come out of camaraderie and comes out of a collective understanding about an understanding of what the collective wants. And, you can't get that. Most of the time you can't get that without a union, something that can say writ large, this is what we believe in, this is what we, the workers of this institution, require out of our employer. And so I hope that these conversations develop, they lead, they are not they are not privy to by the employer. And just wishing all the best for those that have had to endure for so long.
All right. Let's move on to a couple other, like, just quick hits, like, nothing nearly as big or major as what we just covered, but just a couple, like, smaller news, smaller bits of news, just a couple small announcements. Last week, Genshin Impact's 2.0 launched, which features the brand new area of Inazuma, which is more, like, Japan influenced, the previous, like, secondary area was Liyue, which is way more like Chinese influence. But they're trying to go for something more explicitly Japanese with this, which I've heard from people who've been playing it. Seems pretty cool. There's a handful of, like, new characters already out, and some who are gonna obviously come out. It's a gacha game. New characters all over the place, but one of the new things you can unlock is an electric version of the Traveler character, your main character. Like, you previously had a wind version and, like, a ground version, and now there's one that can shock people. So that's neat. So if you're still playing Genshin Impact, I'm sure you probably already heard about this. If you haven't been playing Genshin, but you hear, hey, there's a whole bunch of new content out there, like, this is probably the time to get back in there and check it out. If you're into that. I'm probably not going to play it, but maybe, I don't know. I'm kind of feeling the itch a little bit again, but I think it's going to take a bit. Horizon Forbidden West has been delayed. It looks like it has been moved back to the first quarter of 2022. We're, just a big old delay on a big old game that, like, I don't know how many people are super excited for it. I wasn't a huge fan of the first Horizon. No. I know people who did, like, really enjoy it. Like, it feels like the kind of game that, like, maybe more maybe like more Reset era style gamers are probably gonna be excited about, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, unfortunately for them, they gotta wait a little longer. This one, weirdly enough, I mentioned Half-Life 2 earlier. Tyler McVicker, who is a like Steam like insider, someone who reports on stuff pretty much just Valve related stuff, has just confirmed that a Half-Life, he has just confirmed that a Half-Life 2 remastered collection is apparently coming to Steam sometime soon. Most likely going to include not just Half-Life 2, but also Episode 1 and Episode 2 as well. And the people who are working on it are the same mod team that worked on the Half-Life Update mod, which adds a whole bunch of quality of life that I have been playing Half-Life 2 on. So that's interesting.
But does it have iron sights?
No, that's M mod. That's a different mod.
Oh.
One more quick reveal. Outer Wilds is getting DLC. This kind of wild to me. The Outer Wilds seems like the kind of game that is just like its own like real insular experience. So who really knows how they're gonna roll DLC into it? But they revealed just a couple of days ago, Echoes of the Eye is gonna be coming to Outer Wilds. That's a game I have been really meaning to play. So maybe new content is what's gonna like really draw me in. There's a trailer up for it now. Go check that out if you're interested. All right, and now let's move on to questions. If you want to send us a question, you can send it to videogamechoo.tumblr.com/ask. Our first question comes from Shoeless. Shoeless asks, I'm enjoying Pokemon Unite's roster, which is filled with popular picks, such as Charizard, and less popular picks, such as Crawmorant and Mr. Mime. If you could add one Pokemon to this MOBA, which would it be?
Is Oshawott in there?
Ooh, I gotta pull that roster up.
Because if Oshawott's not in there, you better fucking add him. I'm not gonna play a Pokemon game without my precious water otter.
I don't believe so. It seems like a pretty a fairly small roster at this point, but they've sort of like evened it out by having have any of y'all seen any gameplay of this? Have y'all tried it out?
Yeah, a little bit.
Not
I've
yet,
watched
amazingly.
a little.
Okay, so like the normal like way a match goes is you'll pick the Pokemon that you pick is like picked as its like final evolved form. Like let's say you want to play as Greninja. When you start the game, you don't play as Greninja, you play as like the pre-evolved form. Why did I use Greninja as an example? I don't remember what that Pokemon's called.
Froakie.
I'm looking it up.
Froakie.
How can you forget Froakie? Anyways, you would start around as Froakie, and then like you would go and do some jungling, kill some monsters, gain experience points, and then over the course of like playing a game, you would digivolve into the next form, and then digivolve again. I say digivolve because I'm assuming that they unevolve at the end of this, which is not how Pokemon works. That is a Digimon mechanic.
So I'm going to change mine.
Or the implication is that every single time you start a new game, you are playing with a new Pokemon.
So I'm going to change mine then, because what kind of monster evolves an Oshawott? And I'll just change it to Score Bunny, because I guess that one gets cool. Or maybe Tepig, because it becomes a big professional wrestling pig.
Yeah, I'd like that. I let me take a look at that roster again. I'm wondering if Incineroar is already there.
But yeah, I don't have terrible taste, so I would never play a game that evolves an Oshawott.
I would add Evian specifically to incorporate a mechanic where you can just like incorporate every evolution in it.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Like sort of the way like a Dota game would maybe like have you like make your build out you need to decide whether or not you need a Vaporeon this time around, you know?
Yeah, or
That'd be
you know, because I've never played MOBAs, so I could also say fuck it, and it's the RNG character.
Oh yeah, just randomly picks whichever one. You can't build towards it.
Yeah, no.
Oh hell yeah!
You can't just go to the store and buy the stone you need now. I think they should add Garbodor. That would be sick. I want a big garbage monster.
I mean, from what I gather from friends of mine that play, it's already pay to win, so Garbodor's already in there.
Yeah.
But
help me. Alright, our next question comes from our friend and yours, Harlequin Wheels. Harlequin Wheels asks, who would have the hypest reveal trailer for a YouTube poop fighting game? I'm just gonna say it. I think people would fucking go absolutely nuts for a fucking Morshu fighter. Like,
Morshu is the Mario of YouTube Poop Smash.
Yeah.
he's in there already.
Is it Harkinian?
Yeah, King Harkinian.
They both have the same moves.
Well, what I mean by that is, like, he's already going to be in the game. You recognize that he's already going to be in there. My pick would be Dr. Rabbit. So who's the
deep cut? Ooh.
Or if we want deep cut, I'm thinking about Jackie Chan from Jackie Chan Adventures because of those deeper cut YouTube poops.
Oh, yeah. God.
Which are really good.
You stole mine.
Oh, man. I would love to watch the Fesh Prince reveal trailer.
Oh, that'd be solid.
Fuck.
I should have saved that one for John. He would go nuts for it. You know what? I'm not going to delete this question. I'm gonna let him answer it next time.
No, you gotta keep that one for him.
We're gonna pretend that we didn't even answer it, but don't tell him because he's definitely not gonna listen to the podcast. This next one comes from Anonymous asks, what is the gang affiliation status of Video Game Choo Choo? I mean, I don't want to speak for everyone else here, but I do think I'm personally feeling MDK all day.
Yeah, no, definitely MDK all day.
After the events of today, I am definitely MDK all fucking day.
Fuck.
Put me in the Eastern Blockade Club, motherfucker. Oh.
Get your pizza cutters. Welcome to Video Game Choo Choo.
Yeah, here's my hot take. I feel like okay, so anyone who is not in the know, but AEW recently had a main event featuring Chris Jericho and the absolutely 100% lovable, amazing Nick Gage, who is a brutal murder man with horrible teeth, and one of his signature weapons is a pizza cutter. And during the match, like right before a commercial break, our friend and yours, Nick Gage, sliced open Chris Jericho's head with the pizza cutter, and then immediately, as soon as he goes to picture-on-picture in the commercial, a Domino's ad starts playing.
That had to have been on purpose, right?
That was 100% on purpose. I feel like the Domino's response to this of being like, we had no idea, like, we condemn this. 100% outrage theater, just trying to get people to like pay attention to Domino's.
Because like,
here's the thing about like ad placement in these kind of shows. They're planned to a fucking T. Yeah. Like there's no way like one, that match had to get like approval not just from advertisers but also from like TNT, and on top of that, like, they needed to figure out which advertisers are going to run during this. And someone on the Domino's team was definitely like, hey, let's have a spot where this guy does a pizza cutter thing. And then it goes right to Domino's.
Yeah.
That's going to get huge. And then of course it did.
Cause it was the only ad. They didn't have more. They just did the Domino's ad, then right back to the match instead of 3 ads.
I thought there were other ads.
I didn't think there were.
I'm pretty sure there were.
Were there?
I'm fairly confident there were.
I don't know. If you are still sitting here thinking, God, what's this stuff about? I don't even get. Nick Gage is a man who in the early 2000s technically died once and then was resuscitated back to life. Then robbed a bank and, had to do his time. And then after that has just
robbed a bank and then turned himself in.
Yes.
Yeah, turned himself in. And then after doing his time, which, ACAB and fuck the prison system, but also post jail has just been the most electrifying part of his career as someone that earnestly says, I love this shit. I love to be around my gang. My gang is my family and you are all gang affiliated. If you run with me, let's fucking go.
By all reports of people who know Nick Gage, he is a completely different person, coming out of prison, and he's just literally the nicest, cuddliest man in the world. And also he's a dude who fucking makes Chris Jericho bleed on live TV.
He is a person who, when he was even a mention of being on this program, everyone's immediate thought was, well, are they going to have the light tubes?
Well, no,
everyone's
thought was, yo, Nick Gage! Fuck yeah, that rocks! Because it does rock! It fucking kicks ass that they're putting Nick Gage on fucking television.
I still love that Nick Cage, the murder machine, came out of that match barely bleeding, and Chris Jericho is just gushing everywhere. It was amazing.
The match itself is incidental, because it's pretty much just Nick Gage doing offense, doing fucking death swat offense, and then Chris Jericho hits the Judas effect and it's over.
Jericho had a beautiful Hurricane Rana off the turnbuckle.
Oh, he did. He did.
He did. It was very good. Into a pane of glass. It was a great spot. But it was very much the Nick Gage match, and then Chris Jericho wins, which is fine because that's what everyone expected. But it was such a sick fucking match.
Oh god,
and the fact that they allowed it on TV was so good. Beautiful.
MDK
Great, good stuff.
all day.
MDK all day. Murder, death, kill gang. Gang affiliated. That's a video game that VGCC MDK.
It's there.
All right.
All day.
Shoeless again. Ass. Which Mario character would deal with hitting a person with their car in the middle of the night the worst? Who would drive away and pretend that person was a deer? Which would bury the body? Discuss.
Mario. Oh, I can't let my sterling reputation go down the drain. I need to turbo off.
No, I think he would get out, he would see a body, and he would go, wahoo! And then he would, pick it up and jump it over across into the forest and go, wah-ha! And then, throw it down a pit.
Bowser would definitely take it bad, because he'd be off the clock during this, and he'd just be like, oh yeah,
he's got kids. He'd just have a fucking nervous breakdown, rightfully so.
As we established that most of the Mario universe is sort of a performance piece, it'd be one of those moments where it's just oh, come on, I can't, I really can afford this.
Princess Peach would do it because she was on her phone. Because she'd be on that phone while she's driving her cart. And then, her, toad butlers would, clean up after her, and then, nobody would ever find the body. It would be so immaculately put away, and no one would say a damn thing.
And even if they did, diplomatic immunity. I mean, she's a princess.
I mean, that only counts if you're in a foreign country. Are you saying she's running people over while she's on ambassador stints or something?
Yeah, she's driving through New York City and just oops.
We don't know the provincehood of Coconut Mall. I'm just saying. She has domain over the Mushroom Kingdom, but we don't know where DK Jungle is. We don't know where Yoshi Circuit is.
Let me just real quick say Luigi would run someone over and then immediately vacuum up their soul. Let's move on.
God.
And since he's in a car, he's going to give him the nastiest look.
Yeah.
That's funny. I remember that. Let's move on to another question. This next question comes from Anonymous. Has any video game actually captured the spirit of a Studio Ghibli movie? Tons of them have tried, but IDK if they have ever pulled it off. I think, like, the one that people point to the most is, like, the original Ni no Kuni. Like, that one tries the best.
Well,
I don't know if it nails
wasn't it actually worked on by Studio Ghibli?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah,
it was.
That's probably the best of the Ghiblikes then.
Yeah, I mean, like, from what I understand, it was like a pretty, like, nice and beautiful game and everything, but, like, it didn't quite have the same charm as a Studio Ghibli piece. Especially because it's like an RPG that, like, did require tons of grinding to get through. So.
See, when I hear that, one part is the aesthetic, but then there's also the fact that with most Studio Ghibli films, there is, like, the narrative and the narrative force of a Studio Ghibli film is not important. That is not to say that there is no plot, but rather it is much more focused on the sensation and the feeling of what you're, like, experiencing. Kiki's delivery service is less about, like, oh, Kiki figures out the magic she wants to do, as much as it is understanding the struggle of a budding artist and having to do the gig economy. That being said, I would say that the games that have been released by the groups that have done Moon Remix RPG, Tulip, Boku no Natsuyasumi, I think are the closest ones, because hell, I would even say Katamari Damacy. Games that focus less on getting you from point A to point B and rather just focus on the interstitial, where it is partially the gameplay.
You call Katamari Damacy a fucking, like, Studio Ghibli thing. I view it as Twin Peaks, man. It is just like so nebulously its own thing. It is not trying to, like, capture its own, it's not trying to, like, capture a different vibe. It is,
not
like,
to say that
entirely inside its own weirdness. It is like, it's so insular in that way.
Yeah, this is not to say that they are one-to-one, but if I had to think about what is the essence of a Ghibli narrative or a Ghibli film, I could see it in Katamari. Like, no questions asked. But I could also see, I would sooner say that it's a Yuasa game. I
respect what you're saying.
I would sooner, in my heart of hearts, I would sooner say it's a Masaki Yuasa game, but that's a different podcast that I'm usually on.
All right. Our last question also comes from Anonymous. If you want to send us questions, you can always send them to videogamechuchu.tumblr.com/ask. Anonymous asks, marry, fuck, kill, Sonic the Hedgehog, Fox McCloud, KK Slider. So I think we can all agree fuck Sonic, right?
I want to marry him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like he would not. I feel like he would not be an attentive lover. It's like he would not appeal to he would not appeal to my needs as a potential marriage candidate, you know?
No, I'm gonna marry KK Slider so I can just have those cool jams all day. Just sit around the house, the music's always good.
KK is great, man.
I mean, that's the other thing too.
He's away on an island like 3/4 of the time, so I don't actually have to deal with him much when I'm frustrated.
No, you're right. Marrying KK Slider is basically marrying, like, video game Tatsuro Yamashita, and that's a pretty... Basically, by extension, I would be the Maria Takeuchi of the relationship, and I don't mind that at all.
The thing is, like, KK Slider in Animal Crossing games is such a like, almost distant character, because he's a celebrity. He's like, you know, he's in his own world. He's there just to play the songs. He's not there to live with you. Like, he's got his job and he's sticking to it. The idea of becoming the apple in the eye of KK Slider and just, like, getting to, like knowing for sure that this is a person who cares about you and is probably writing music about you. Oh, so romantic. It's like,
you are the Dolly Parton's husband of KK Slider's Dolly Parton. And that is honestly a bond that cannot be broken. Like, it is ridiculous how solid, like, one, the people that are already like, she has a husband, and two, the fact that it's like, yeah, no, like, this is what we do. It's fine. It's chill.
And also, I would totally accept KK Slider for fuck, because, you know,
he's a guitarist.
Yeah, like, he's not good at it, but you'd still want to do it.
What the dog doing?
I'm going to go with Sonic for that one because it's over the quickest. Because, I'm not really into animal people.
That's fair, yeah.
That's the reality of this question, isn't it?
And then you kill Star Fox because who the fuck cares about Star Fox?
Yeah, Jason, no. I think, like, the amazing speed of Sonic is not just... It also, like, kind of makes him potentially an insanely good lover because, like, not only is he going fast, but like he's going like lightning fast. He's doing stuff like you couldn't imagine anyone else doing. He's got something unique going on there that no one else can really capture. So I think like that makes him a very suitable fuck candidate.
What if it was original movie Sonic and his people teeth though?
I mean, he got changed. Like that Sonic is now non-canon. until they do like a metaverse version or whatever. But the other thing is
giving the best head.
The other thing is I'm totally okay with murdering Sonic and just having a great night out with Fox McCloud.
Nah.
Star
Fox Command has shown canonically that Fox McCloud is an incompetent lover. I think there are multiple ending routes. I think there are multiple ending routes in Command that culminate. I'm going to look this up now just to make sure I'm not wrong, but I think
You're pulling up the Star Fox lore that says, and then Star Fox was really bad at sex.
And then Star Fox fucked.
Not
he
bad
was
at
really
sex,
mediocre.
I think there's some stuff where it's kind of like they try and make Crystal a thing for him, and then they kind of just, it does not work well because like Fox sucks.
I think Crystal's kind of too good for him though. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I'm perfectly okay. Here's the thing is like, I'm perfectly okay with a reality wherein we kill Sonic, but I feel worse about killing Fox because Fox kind of doesn't deserve it. Like, he's been through enough. Like, just, like, I'm not killing KK Slider. That's just not on the table. But I feel better killing Sonic than I do killing Fox. Because Fox, I think, really needs a win. Sonic has had it too good for too long.
Okay, so in the Goodbye Fox path, spoilers for Star Fox Command. After Team Star Fox defeated the Anglars, they go their separate ways. Fox finds Crystal on Saria and she forgives him. The two decide to start a family with a son named Marcus, who would go on to become the future leader of Star Fox. Okay. I got shown up there. I'm going to take the L.
So like now Fox is not just a possible fuck candidate, but also a marriage candidate.
Yeah.
Because we know for a fact in canon, he can really be a good dad. Well, we don't know if
he'll be as good as dad as his.
He can be a father.
Listen, so is his father, and you saw how that.
Here's the thing, though. Like, people who come from abusive households do not necessarily repeat the same abuse. Sometimes, a lot of time, I say this as someone who did come from a household of abuse. Sometimes people like learn from that and grow and become better and not want to repeat the same mistakes. I'm sorry for getting so dark there for a second and equating the relationship between Star Fox and Star Wolf as an abusive one. I just really felt like that needed to be said.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for that. And also, I really think it's so funny, Maverick, that you thought Fox McCloud was a 2-pump chump.
And then it turns out he's a good dad.
We should
it's me. It's me who's getting wombo comboed.
Thank you so much for listening to the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. You can always check out everything we do at videogamechoochoo.com. Let's see if we have any new content coming out soon. Yeah, we got a couple of reviews in the works. Last time I was on this podcast, I said we're gonna have some videos soon, and I'm sticking by that. I have videos uploaded that I have not released yet, because I want to make sure that like we're on a good track of like recording more of them before we like start releasing things, just so we have a really solid release order. So I'm very excited for when that finally gets to come out. If you want to check out, if you want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/VGCC and you can get all of our content, a week early for just $3 a month. That's our Express Pass, which comes, I believe the big thing is Unlimited Railworks, our anime podcast. Maverick, you're on that, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
How's it been?
It's been great. We've been able to just really, recently, we went on a tear about one of the new shows of this season, the sequel series to Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, and oh boy, even just 2 episodes in, there is a lot. And for better, but definitely for worse, we get into it.
All right, awesome. You can find us on Twitter at VGCC, Tumblr, videogamechoo.tumblr.com, Facebook.com/videogamechoo, YouTube.com/videogamechoo, Twitch.tv/VGCC. If you go there, you can see our latest broadcast, which was part of the non-standard Twitch takeover, where I played a very special game of Battletech called Burger Tech, where we replaced a whole bunch of the characters with some of your favorite McDonald's characters who become our own personal McWarriors, and we took on all of the greatest opposing forces that McDonald's can. That's right, we did shoot at representatives of Burger King. So please go head over to our Twitch channel, check that out. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to put that on YouTube. Probably not. Maybe I should. I don't know. I'm so weird about that stuff, but maybe I will. We'll see. If you want to check us out if you want to check us out on Discord, you want to go to thegamezone.zone. Do not put HTTPS. That will not get you there. You just go to thegamezone.zone. Our theme song is Crush off the album Magic is Real by Melt Channel. You check out their stuff at meltchannel.bandcamp.com and magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. Maverick and Christine, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter over at Mavsplaniamania. That's at MAVSPLANIAMANIA. Currently, there's been a lot of stuff happening in my neck of the woods that, really cool, really exciting. I'm very pumped for the things to come, but for the time being, I am going to have to expect some bigger changes, and, we'll still be around, but it'll be a while before I am back in audio format. But the next time that I'm around, probably going to have a new setup. So,
nice.
Be excited for that.
Ooh. You can find me at Judgment Scythe on Twitter and Twitch, where I've been streaming a couple times a week my journey through Savage Raiding in Final Fantasy XIV, and I'm about to start up and play through all those Final Fantasy remasters now that I know they work, rather than just playing the first hour of Final Fantasy 1. So, come join me.
And who helped you get your OBS profile set up?
You did.
Yeah, that's right. It's
Bless.
me.
You're the entire reason I can stream.
Hell yeah. I'm at Scott Blah on Twitter. That's SCOTTBLAH. I haven't done any other major projects outside of Video Game Choo Choo in a bit. But I think we're trying to record the next part of we're trying to record a new Wrestling on Air and the next part of Shootcast Jabroni Delivery, which is going to be Broken Mike's actual title match, which I'm very excited about because I have so many dumb ideas for it, but we've just been having trouble scheduling and getting that together. But that'll be soon. That'll happen in the near future. I believe that is everything from us, and we hope you have a great rest of your day if you're listening to this during the day, or you have a great evening if it's at night. Thank you so much for listening to the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. Chugga chugga, and good night. Bang.